I'm back here on Fishing Planet, and I'm going to be going through entering into an upcoming comp. I wanted to explain some of this stuff for you guys. Basically, what you're going to want to do is the rules of the Bowfin tournament here. I'm entering into the big Bowfin hunting tournament, and the rules are as follows. Main key note here, make sure that you do have a stringer and not a keep net. You have to have a stringer. You won't be able to enter into this. It's 1 point per bowfin, 3 points per trophy, and that's kind of just the total points at the end of the comp. Now, the reason I'm posting this one up is it's another option or another chance for you guys, anybody that's wanting to try to get that X Series shad. The 4-inch, that'd be a great one to have. Again, you have to play stop 3. Again, like a lot of these comps you guys are going to find, no matter what level you're on or how good you're at fishing, you're still wading through all these guys that got this system down. I'm just kind of, again, showing you my personal perspective on what I try to do. And then from there, hopefully you guys can figure something out and at least get a chance at this thing. So, again, you make sure you have a stringer. I'm going to go ahead and show some marks. 1 second. Okay, and then from what you're going to want to do. Okay, it is live. Okay, sorry guys, I was having technical difficulties again there. Basically, what you're going to want to do, you can start here and spawn here. This is a really good hot spot to your right. You can use walkers, poppers, anything like that, and I will show you guys some marks. You can get them off the 1.0 poppers. You can also get them off of a stout walker. I even tested that. A lot of people will probably be using cut bait, medium cut bait, meat chunk, something like that on a 1.0, 2.0. Probably anywhere from 30 to 60 inches deep would be my normally what I would try. If it slows down, there is a couple spots I found, I think, going for snakehead. If I could find the mark. Hold on, maybe it's, yeah, bowfin comp. I actually picked that up on a going for snakehead, so there's another mark, but you can cast straight across over there, kind of just in that general area. You can cast through there and get them through this area as well. But this here is a really good hot spot. It's going to be 1 point per, as well as this other place is a little tricky, and I'll kind of show you. You want to spawn over here at Catfish Heaven or Haven. Take your first right, and it's going to be along these weeds over here. Basically, you can cast there and let it float from one mark to the next, but this is a good mark here. Again, it floats in this hole area. Now you can use, again, the popper, 1.0 walker, whatever you want to do. Now you're going to have your collateral, obviously, is going to be your pickerel and your largemouth bass in this lake, but you can, in other words, pop through this area and pick them up, and then you can kind of throw here and kind of let it float all the way down into this area. Sometimes they will hit it all the way to there. And then again, there's a couple other marks that I'll show you. I apologize, I do have several marks here for other things. So you can cast off into this area as well. You can see I caught that one on a Christmas popper before. Again, I'm posting these up and just giving you guys my personal experience. If anything, you guys got plenty of marks and kind of a strategy to do. Now again, if you guys watching my videos in the past, you get a bad bite rate or the RNG or whatever is against you, that's not something anybody that can really fix. If you do have a bad experience and you're having a really slow bite rate, I would recommend that you close your app a couple times or close it for a couple minutes, come back in, and maybe your luck will be better off. But I don't know what the issue is with Fishing Planet in these comps, but there is something off in regards to bite rate, and that is, for me playing in 200 of these now, there's definitely something off with the bite rates on these things. But that'll give you enough markers. Again, only thing that counts is your bowfin, and again, I'll go through the just real quick before I get started. Basically, it's just 1 point per bowfin, guys. So and then three for the trophy, 1 for that. Now you can get on a little hot streak, but you can also, again, I can't fix a broken bite rate for you. I just hope that doesn't happen to me. Score wise, some of these guys can get up there. As you can see, they're already up at 9 points, and this thing's barely going. Yeah, but anyways, and then some of these guys, you'll come in and score well. I think I've got, as low as 3 points in this thing and as high as 18 or something. And one time I got really high. It was the same thing. I got in there, did really well. Next thing you know, I come and check the score later. I'm like at 9th or 10th. So it is what it is. You guys, I'm just posting these things up, giving you my experience, a different way than a lot of streamers probably will. I'm going in here raw and live, and if I get my butt handed to me, so to speak, you guys are going to live these things too. And I've been doing my best not to get too frustrated. I just had a really rough comp earlier with, even though I know how to catch carp, I had a really bad spell in the Jolly Carp a second ago. I battled my way back and did get 225 pounds, but it was just ironic how things went. But anyway, I just keep trying to keep my chin up and then help you guys out the best I can. So I'm going to enter into this thing. Sometimes it's just chaos. I might start with one way and do something else. In other words, I might start with a lure. If I get desperate, then maybe I'll go to bait, vice versa. I have no idea. These things are just wacky anymore. But again, I'm trying to do it to have fun at the same time. So anyway, this is the big bowfin hunt or big bowfin hunting here on the Fishing Planet. I'm definitely going to need the luck. I haven't had much of that lately on these comps. So again, you can cast right out here. Preferably cast right in this way. Now you will have collateral damage over here. I'll fluctuate with different depths. I'm going to try just see how active this spot is. I'll try with a float first just to see if we're getting any bites. Again, the bad thing is about when I go to live stream, if I get a really bad bite rate and I feel like I'm just getting screwed over, I'm stuck with what I got. And preferably, it'd be great if you could just enter in these comps and just get this equal bite rate as everybody else and just let the RG and fall in place. But for whatever reason, you guys that's been tuning in and playing in these things, you're going to notice it's kind of the same thing. You go in one comp and you feel like you're getting a bite, and then the next time, I don't know, something just seems broke. So with that being said, I'll quit crying and try to figure out what kind of luck I'm going to have in this thing. And as you can see, this is a quick one. It's only 30 minutes, so kind of just figure things out. I do, again, like on a lot of my other things, I will lightly tease this. Now, if you like a 1-0, use a 1-0. It's up to you. They will bite. The trophies, I've caught 8-9 pound trophies off a 1-0 popper as well. So, but again, it's kind of hard to figure out what exactly is going on again in these comps. What's funny is I can go in here and fish for these if I wanted to, for just for fun to catch them. I just went in earlier and just threw a few casts out and was doing great. But that doesn't mean that's going to happen as soon as I come into these comps. I don't get it. I just literally played for 8 minutes a second ago on this peak. And again, I'm just going to kind of show you guys I'll show you this one marker again. I literally just caught this thing, as you can see just now, just off a 3-0 stout walker. So I'm going to try to duplicate that on the same peak that I just did this on, and we'll see if we can even get a bite. So again, you don't have to use one that big, but I just noticed that they will hit stout walker as well. So we'll try it and just go from there. But this is kind of just how all these things work out. So if you're ever curious of entering in it, you kind of know where the spots are to try, and you guys kind of just put your own game plan together from there. We had something miss it. I do believe it's a bowfin. And he missed it again. Well, that was a pickerel. You guys could have seen that pickerel there. So you guys are going to have the collateral damage. Now, once it gets to this stage, I've noticed, just go ahead and reel it in. And if you're uncomfortable using this bigger walker, you can use the 1-0, but make sure you just bring a light enough rod, like the jig winner, or a feather touch or something like that, that you can work a smaller popper with. I did bring a jig winner with me in the event that I have trouble, but again, I don't ever know what to expect in these things. Like I said, I've had as low as a lousy 3 points and all the way up to that 15 to 18 point range. So it never really know what you're going to get, but the spot does seem to be active. That should give us at least 1 point, I hope. Now, if it's a pickerel, I don't know what to say. And it is a pickerel. Imagine that. Again, sometimes I'm just kind of putting myself through this torture, but I know there's enough people that are talented on this game that are on my friends list that could probably come in here and kind of figure these things out. And that's kind of why I've been putting all this together. You guys kind of pick the things that you want. If this happens to be on and you want to go in through and try it out, if you get a lucky run, maybe you can get that X-series shad like you're hoping for. If not, you could just catch pickerel and bass and just pretend you're in another tournament. That's kind of what I've started doing. Earlier, I played in the Stillhead Showdown, and now if that was a small bass or the the smallmouth bass tournament, I think Josh and I probably would have won it. We caught more smallmouth bass than I think it was humanly possible there at California going for the Stillhead. So don't know what happened there, but we did actually try, and for whatever reason, the computer today is just not on our side. So again, I wanted to throw this one up here just to give you the basics on it. You had 8 small. I lost count how many I had, man. I really did. That's up on my live stream too. I ended up getting a unique, but it was so late for me to pick that up. I was already kind of. It is what it is. It does appear that I'm gonna farm pickerel for you guys. Now, you guys seen my marks. I promise there is bowfin right here. I'm gonna keep casting. You guys that play any of these wacky things, you'll know kind of how they go. But maybe I'll do really well and I'll get just one bowfin. I just never know anymore. But and I'm also a guy, I don't care about my personal ranking on these things, especially as wacky as the RNG is. I just care about having fun and trying to help you guys out. So if anything I do helps you guys out, if anything you might find it amusing. So in other words, don't feel bad if you're the only guy that goes into these comps and feels like you just get smacked around. It's just a game after all. So I try not to take too much of it serious unless it's something I'm really, really good at, and I feel like the computer is just really against me. Other than that, I try to just keep a even laughable kill for the most part. It does get difficult at times, but again, you can see sometimes you just, for whatever reason, the universe might be against you on this game. So I'll keep trying here because I know this is a good spot. Preferably you can get 1 to 3 bowfin over here, but I've sat here before and got 4 bowfin, 2 trophies and 2 commons before I even rotated. But again, as soon as I hit the stream button, things just change. So I don't know. But again, as all my videos, if anything you got marks that you might not have had, a strategy that you might not have had before. So I'm going to throw this lure a couple more times, and I'm going to probably have to be forced into going to a bait, which is odd because I have no trouble catching these things. Tum 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 tum. Now, if I was at the doing dancing with a pike and I needed a small, that would have never happened. And now the bass are even going to come in for me. I know what it is. I don't have a mark to cast here, right? Even though you guys seen the marks, this thing can be I think just lately, I just had this really great look. I know I started out this morning doing a long live stream. I should have just stayed at Willow, playing in free mode and having fun, instead of posting some of these up. But for whatever reason, the computer and these comps just really want to test my patience. So I'm going to stick this one out too, but you guys can see what happened. I showed you guys all the marks. I showed you the lures I caught them on. I'm already 10 minutes into this thing in a spot that's usually very active for bowfin. Instead, it's going to sit and give me pike and bass. But again, that's what you guys can expect. I'm giving it to you. I'm a straight shooter. Uh, I'm giving you a great strategy. It's just going to be up to what the computer is going to do for you, I guess, in a lot of these things. So now, even though I would prefer to fish with these things for a lure, now I'm reduced to throwing this float out. And if you guys like throwing the floats out, just figure out a little different depth. But I'll tell you, 20 to 40 inches deep should be good. Hey, bro. Hey, what's up, man? Oh, it's been a while since I've seen you. Yeah, you're in that chat group. Yeah, I've seen you, man. I appreciate you stopping by the stream. Yeah, I've been posting all these things up to try to help people, but for whatever the reason, the computer has just really been dumping on me lately. Like the RNG people just do not like me at all. But nonetheless, I've been trying to post these up to help people. But I promise, normally I can put a nice 12 to 18 points up on this thing. And I almost knew as soon as I went to stream this and put it up on the channel just to have just a little a play-by-play on kind of how these things, in my perspective, go. But again, I played in a carp tournament earlier, and you have to catch either the mirror, the leather, or the common, and of course they're giving me grass carp. And yeah, it's just been one of those days on these things. But yeah, medium cut bait on a 1020 was usually solid in this spot. And for whatever reason, I'm probably not even going to get a bite at this point. But you're going to find these things. There's one, right? No? Am I going to get one? Of course not. Normally you can see it kind of, the water will kind of frizz up a little bit. But yeah, odd part is you'll come into these things, and even if you got a good game plan, sometimes you just, for whatever reason, you draw the bad card. That's what my friend Josh and I has been saying. The computer will just deal you what they're going to deal you. It's the oddest thing ever. I could come in here and do just fine, but as soon as you go into the comp, I don't know how to even explain it anymore. Okay, so you guys can see what happened. I hope you guys have better luck, but generally speaking, this spot right here is amazing for bowfin. I gave you the marks at the start. From there, normally if the computer ever cooperates, you can usually get 2 to 4 bowfin there. Come down here, and this spot's usually fairly active as well. And if you wanted to, just go back and forth between those two spots, and I gave you alternative spots to cast to and stuff over there. But this spot here, normally, again, it's probably going to make a liar out of me, but you can cast out here. I'm going to let off a little bit of line here, but you can cast out here and let this thing float as far as, about, the end of my rod tip sometimes, and it'll still hit it. I will on occasion, once it gets to that second marker buoy, just kind of reel it in lightly and kind of see what happens. But normally you'll see an animation almost like a taimen or something that you guys that fish for bowfin, sometimes you can see an animation. Now again, over here you're going to have pickerel and bass as well, but you can use walkers, poppers, that sort of thing to get them as well. Now I would assume just because I'm streaming, maybe they're just not even going to give me any luck at either spot that I go to. If that happens, like I said, when I would have first started at that spot, if I didn't have a bowfin within 2 or 3 minutes, I would close your app, rejoin, and see what happens. And that's not 100% foolproof, but just what I've been experiencing in these comps lately, they are broken in my opinion. I've played enough of them now to give you my honest opinion. Some of them are just broken. It's very unfortunate that a lot of these guys are done with it. I was playing earlier, and another guy was playing in the saltwater thing, and he was throwing an absolute fit. And I kind of see why on some of it. I really do. I'm even I'll shallow this up some, because we know bowfin like to hit on the top. I'll go up to 20 inches and just see. But I'll try all kinds of tactics for you just to kind of live this misery out for you guys. But the markers I've given you and the kind of the strategy should work. Again, I can't fix the game when it's broken, and sometimes the comps are just broken for me. So we'll see this. Hopefully we can at least get one or two at this point. But yeah, the first time I played in this, I want to say that was my worst score was 3, and I've had, I know, as high as 18, and I still didn't place. I'm not for sure exactly what the scores are going to end up with, but if you can get that 12 to 18 point range and adjust from there, I think it's you got a chance. Like I said, you got to place in the top 3 to get X Series gear anyway. But it's just another one of these I wanted to check off my list, and if it's something that you guys want to try, you can. Again, but I can't stress the point enough of, for whatever reason, if your bite rate seems broke, because you can see I'm not even, I should have had a bite by now. So what I'll do in this situation, just to make sure they're not wanting a lure, I'll go ahead and throw on the jig winner and see if I can, again, to kind of, just in case, that I'm not just messing with you guys. I mean, right there, 1020. It doesn't really, I've caught them on 3.0 before, but there's the medium cut bait, 9.7 pounder. As you can see, I played this a couple times back in February, and I've kind of just been venturing off, going on all kinds of other comps to test them out and stuff. But I have noticed a lot of these things are just broken for certain people, and I can't explain it any different than that. So sometimes you let that float out. Yeah, I did get a couple on the Stott Walker earlier as well, Josh, and like you know as well as I do, I don't even know what's going on half the time on these things anymore. If you can hear a little bit of the frustration in my voice, I'm trying to put these things through, and uh, I'd heard that when I first started getting into comps that it can be really annoying and your bite rate gets messed up or whatever, but man, I've never seen it. I've never seen anything like this. Again, I don't care if I get beat by, somebody catching, bigger fish or a little more fish, but when I know the strategy and I know a strategy that works to get me on the board and you can't even get a bite half the time, there's something wrong. I just don't know what it is. All right, one more cast here, and I know if I cast, I've just been experienced, if I cast really far back here, then the pickerel will seem to chase it. So it's right in this line, but I'm going to go just a little bit past it and just see. Again, I've never had trouble picking up the bowfin right here. And if you get really lucky, I mean, I'm on fire right now, so there's a good chance the game is not even going to give me one bowfin. So again, if anything, when I post these things up, you can kind of see, in kind of my opinion, this is also me documenting what's wrong with some of these comps. So again, at the end of all these things, I'll put up my own little thoughts on it. Now that probably won't help get things changed, but when a guy that's put this much time into coming in and practicing and doing this stuff and putting this stuff together, and he wants to put out good content and as well as help you guys, I don't know why a lake has to be completely broken for one person or two people, or I'm sure a lot of you guys are experiencing the same thing, but yeah, I showed you the marks, I showed you what I caught them on. I'm in the same peak that everybody else is fishing in, and again, they're going to give me the big you don't get a bite. So again, if you look back at my trophy whiskers, look back at my meaty fellas, look back at the huge eyed, notable on a lot of those, the same very thing happened to me. Even though I know how to catch them, I've got unique markers for eyed. it gives me one fish and an X amount. I did the red and shiny. I get one lousy fish in an hour, and I worked the heck out of some lures. I get one fish in a whole hour comp when I had a good 5, 6 marks to fish off of. The same marks a lot of the people are fishing off of. Now, granted, they probably had more marks than I did, but nonetheless, a guy should have been able to get 20 pounds of those red peacock, and I had a lousy 3 or 4 pounds off of one fish. Again, so 2/3 of this, there we go, something. Did we get one? They gave us one. Or is it a pike? It's got to be a bowfin, right? Okay, we're on the board. At least we didn't get skunked, right, guys? Now, you guys are going to experience the same thing. So 2/3 of this comp basically just, bedonked on me. Now, I'm going to try to grind this out and see what else I can get. But, yeah, this is probably the 4th time I played in this. I played in this 2 or 3 times in February. I had a little bit of fun with it, and figured, hey, I slowly gained more and more marks when I was fishing for snakehead there on the St. Patty's. I had a few extra marks. Was going to be excited to come in here and play this, and hopefully put up 12, 15 points for you guys and kind of show you. But again, for whatever reason, it's just going to do me like this. But I'm going to keep casting like I always do, and just try to push through this for you guys. But again, this is big bow fun hunting at Mudwater on Fishing Planet. Again, I'm putting all these up from my perspective and my personal experience going into these. And again, these are live and what actually happens. I've heard the things before about people complaining about this, but I've documented enough of these on my channel now that I don't know what explanation can be made other than, hey, Road, you're just having bad luck. Road, it's bad RNG, bro. I don't know. I don't know about that. Some of these comps are just broke, in my opinion. And this one actually should be fun. Okay, so we'll go back to bait. That guy there probably gave up. I don't even want to know what it would be like level 23 trying to play in this. I really don't. Okay, now I'm just going to sit this out. I know I got the appropriate bait. I know I'm in the hook size range, and I'm going to sit this out and just see. They've given me one common bowfin, and that's it. So we'll see what we can do. Those markers on the left that you see 1, 2, and 3, that's all bowfin marks. I'm going to leave that set there for 2 minutes. If I don't get nothing spawned onto their spot and just kind of show you guys. But I hope anybody that enters this kind of gets the idea. I don't even know. I mean, what do? You turn your game off, come back in, or close your app, come back into it. I don't know what to say when it's this horrible. Yeah, good point, Josh. I don't know how they do. I don't know. I have several theories, but it's almost like there's a lottery pool and RNG selected. I don't know how else to explain that, and I don't know if it's going off a personal rating or you just draw some random number and you're going to get the collateral damage card, so to speak, where you're going to be getting the non-target species, even though everybody around you is not getting as many. But yeah, that's a great point. Yeah, if I was fishing for something else, these bowfin wouldn't leave me alone. and that's probably going to be a catfish. Let's see if it hits again. More than likely that's going to be a catfish, but we'll see. If it's a bowfin, I'll be really happy. There we go. We got one. And it's a trophy. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. We got a fish. As you guys can see, the quick set did work on that, if you noticed. And again, you know, there's a weird thing that a couple of me and my friends have been noticing. It's almost like there's a literal timer that gets set, and it goes on and off. Yeah, there's got to be an algorithm or something, bro. You get what I'm saying. Like I said, I know some people feel like, you go into a deal and you play in something like this and you'll see people complaining, and I normally see why now. I really truly do. And again, I'm not saying give up all the way on the comps, but it's just, I wish they would change. They need to change something to make it a little more. I know it's a game, and I guess the word realistic's not right, but to me, everybody's bite rate, as long as you're doing parameters in the same regard. I mean, these are the comical part about the game in general is the fish really don't migrate. Everybody's got marker buoys, so these fish all spawn in the same spot. They're not allowed to migrate throughout the lake or any waterway. So you're limited to, stand at this spot, cast to that spot, or put a park mark for your boat, cast to this spot, or in this particular situation, we're casting a certain spot where you've eliminated things down by hook size, your lures and everything else. And then whenever you've got all that stuff down right and you're doing everything right, and then you're still not catching what you're supposed to be catching, that's my problem. Is that doesn't seem like random RNG to me. Random RNG should just be everybody's catching as long as you're in the parameters, and then now the sizes are going to vary. That's how I understand RNG, but that's just me, I guess. So as I finish this last 4 minutes out here in the big bowfin hunt, um, again, I think the first time I played in this I got 3 points, but by the time I played in it 2 or 3 times back in February, I had this down enough to where I could, score fairly well. So, but I did give you guys plenty of marks, and you guys can kind of draw your own conclusions that you want to play in it. Again, any of you guys tuning in and out of this, the reason I'm even putting myself through this torture, and you guys are going to probably want to put yourself through the torture, if you don't have the X Series shad, the big bowfin hunt here is a way for you to get it. So I put this together for you. I just hope that you can come in here in what we call the random card. If you can draw that random RNG card that would also include your bite rate, if you can get the bite rate that these top guys seem to get a lot, then you're probably going to have a better option or a better chance at getting that X Series 4 shad. But yeah, again, this marker here, cast over here, and just let it float. Now, again, I haven't. This is probably one of the more miserable experiences I've had, but I put it right up there with the huge eyed for whatever reason, and some of these others that I've posted up on the channel. And I don't know how many people registered in this, but can you imagine being the guy, now that you've lived this with me, if you were able to stick through this once you guys watch this, or anybody that's clicked in and out of this, can you imagine being the guy? I'm 20th with 2 fish, and I know how to catch them. Can you imagine being the guy that's just out here trying to figure this out? Or imagine a guy that's actually played in this several times. There's probably somebody that played in this several times, and he probably don't even have a fish right now. And as much as I want to say, well, that's kind of fishing in real life. Well, but we're not in real life. We're playing a video game, so kind of adjust your numbers somehow, some way. If you feel like there's comps that are broke, they need to look at them. They really, truly do. It's not only just having an intermediate level. You need to look at your computers adjusting on these things, because you can't always give the same people the same luck. And that's what I feel like I'm having. But on a positive note, yes, I still like the game. I like the game. I would just like to see it advance and evolve. It'd be great if it evolved uh, into a better place than it is right now in these comps. I enjoy fishing on here. I really enjoy free mode and going fishing with my friends too. So once this is done, I'm probably going to take a week or so away from the comps and just go have some fun with my friends, whether carp fishing or going to the Congo and just tearing up the perch and tiger fish or something like that. You know, all my missions are done though, so uh, the comps are the kind of the main fun thing left. Now, hopefully, this big tournament coming up, you'll actually see some better programming in it or something. But yeah, in my opinion, I think there's something wrong with the program on these comps in regards to the bite rate. The RNG doesn't bother me as bad. I don't care if, you know, I'm getting a bunch of comments and I don't get as much trophies as everybody else, but when I know how to catch these things, and I literally went in with Josh here, I want to say for 6 minutes, and I had a nice trophy. I had like 5, 6 points within the first 2 or 3 minutes. And as soon as I go into the actual comp, I fished for, I want to say, almost 20 minutes and didn't have anything. So as this concludes, I'll go ahead and show the markers up one more time. Right here in front of me. This is a really good spot. And then there's another good spot. And then all along over here, I think is where it was. But yeah. No, that is not it. That's a whole nother comp. But anyway, as this thing ends, guys, it's just one of these that, really drive me crazy. I don't know how I can come in and do that. I literally just caught that fish again, right on the same peak. But there's the main two good markers. So anyway, this is the conclusion of big bowfin hunting here. And I hope you guys have a better luck than I do. And I hope some of you guys that I know have been getting a lot of compliments on showing us kind of how these things break out. But here's how this one played out. I got 2 fish in 30 minutes, even though I know I should at least be able to get 6 or 7 of them. So I hope you guys appreciate my efforts of trying to help you guys out. But there's plenty of marks there, and again, if you want to get that X Series shad, this is one of your options to try to do it in. So good luck to you guys, and again, I hope you guys have better luck than I did.